Hey, this is Terry Farrell of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and I'm here to invite you to join me and the Inglorious Treksperts as we go on the ultimate road trek, visiting the most iconic Star Trek locations ever filmed. We'll share fun facts about scenes that were filmed there, their incredible Hollywood histories. We may even fight a gorn or two along the way. We have many special guests from Star Trek movies and series. You can reserve your copy of this epic new documentary on Blu-ray or DVD, along with a gaggle of intergalactic rewards, such as Ernie, the Pet Vasquez Rock, limited edition collector pins, cool sci-fi swag, autographs, of course, and so much more by going to makethetrek.com and supporting us as we boldly go to the greatest Star Trek locations ever filmed. Go to makethetrek.com and let's see what's out there. Engage.
Well, the Treksperts got a secret, but I'm not sure we should share it. What do you think, Darren?
Why wouldn't we share it? What good is a secret if you don't tell anyone?
Well, I guess, as they say in Star Trek, you grow stronger through the sharing.
Well, I guess, but...
I mean, if you lift, bro.
I mean, that's sort of the reason we're doing this promo, isn't it?
Ashley, you can't keep a secret. What's going on?
Well, what I heard was that from August 1st to 4th, we're going to be in Las Vegas for the Creation Entertainment Star Trek Las Vegas show, and that we might be programming 4 days of programming on a really big stage. But that's
not correct. That's not correct, because it's not that we might be. We are doing 4 days of exclusive programming at Star Trek Las Vegas, August 1st through the 4th. Full of Inglorious Treksperts goodness. We're bringing in over 50 guests, over 30 panels, spectacular tributes from TOS to the newest era of Star Trek. You have no idea what to expect, and I can promise you it'll be the greatest Trekication you've ever gotten.
Oh my God. You and the Trekication thing. Forget all you know or think you know. Well,
it sounds like a plethora of programming.
It'll be like when Nomad re-educated Uhura. It's going to be spectacular. You're going to be mainlining Star Trek all weekend. You're going to want to bring a colostomy bag to the panel because you won't want to miss one thing.
I think we went a little far. That really is where Nomad has gone before.
Don't. It's not too far. Wherever you are in the world, you could be in Burkina Faso. You're going to want to come to Star Trek Las Vegas to see the Treksperts stage as we join Creation Entertainment to bring you a spectacular tribute to Star Trek and maybe a few Trek-adjacent subjects as well. So don't miss the Treksperts at Star Trek Las Vegas, August 1st through the 4th. Go to creationent.com for more information. And while you're at it, join the Treksperts on the road as we make our way to San Jose, August 16th to the 18th at another great GalaxyCon. We'll be at Nightmare Weekend in Des Moines, September 27th through 29th. And back in Richmond, October 11th through the 13th. So join the Treksperts as they hit the road, Jack. You don't want to miss any of these fantastic Inglorious Treksperts events.
Join us.
Won't you?
Please.
Hey, this is the 430 Movie. I'm Mark Altman. I'm here with your favorite 430 Movie hosts, and this is AI Week, artificial intelligence. It's taking over the world. And speaking of taking over your computer, it's none other than Mr. Monday, Stephen Melching.
Greetings, programs.
Tuesday, Darren Doctorman.
Hi, I'm Darren, and I will be attending the 430 Movie today.
And on Wednesday, it's the Master Control Program himself, Ashley Edward Miller.
Hello, world.
And on Thursday, see, I wanted to step off and just bring 2XL in. He could do my job for me.
Well, he was the first AI that reached national acclaim.
He wouldn't be that different to me. he'd be like, "That is a terrible pick. I do not know why you like that movie." Try again.
It's actually a little disturbing how much you do sound like 2XL.
I know, it's true. Look, 2XL was my formative youth. I mean, I like to think that Captain Kirk and James Bond was my inspiration, but it really was 2XL.
Did you actually have a 2XL?
Oh my God, yes. I remember I saw it. I was as a kid, I was in Valley Stream at the mall. I think we were at Bloomingdale's or something. They had this huge kiosk with all these 2XLs where you could go and play with 2XL. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the future. Look, it's full of robots. And I'm like, this is the greatest thing. You have to get this for me. I was like, it was really expensive, at the time for what it was. And it's like, and I every holiday, the birthdays, Hanukkah, everything, it was like, I want that 2XL. And I remember getting it. It was the greatest thing. And then every holiday after that, I'd get the cartridges, the 8-track cartridges. So, by the end, I had a lot of those cartridges. And then they had some games, Trilux, that you could play with 2XL. And it was awesome. 2XL is the best. So now I have a couple of them because obviously they're hard to come by. And the ones that do, most of them don't work. Yeah. So I actually own a couple of 2XLs. I haven't tried to use it recently, but they're there, and I've slipped in the background of a couple of productions as well. So,
you know what we ought to do? What? We ought to create a custom 2XL cartridge.
That would be awesome. That was one of the reasons I said yes to the specials. When the specials, James Gunn's and Craig Mazin, when they came to us for financing, and I was on the fence about it. My partners all wanted to do it, and I wasn't sure. But then he mentioned 2XL in the script to the specials. I'm like, well, we got to do it. Anybody who mentions 2XL deserves my green light.
Wow.
We're all going to have little robot friends in the future to give us quizzes and entertain us and play games with us.
And dole out the food when it's rationed.
That's why I had no interest in the speak and spell or any of that stuff. I just wanted to. So speaking of the future, are we going to have a future? Everybody's saying this artificial intelligence is very, very deadly. Ashley, you're the expert on technology. What, you're the military guy. What's the future going to be?
The future is where we're all going to spend the. Look, I don't know how scared I am of the AI future because number one, we're kind of running up against the limits of its capabilities in its current form. There's another energy level it needs to jump up to. The reason why the damn thing is because generative AI, as they like to call it, and it's not, simply does not understand what a hand is. It doesn't understand anything in your prompt as the object that they are. And until it does, it's not really artificial
intelligence. Would you like to understand a hand right now? Would you like to understand a hand?
Right. Would you like to see a long arm? By the way, I have to say that as Ashley was talking, he started to break up, and I wonder if it was the internet trying to censor him.
Yeah.
It is.
Could be. It's happened before.
It is our AI overseers.
Darren, you use technology probably more than any of us. What do you think about the cautionary, the warnings about AI?
Well, I think that the statement that AI is going to take our jobs is not true. Our jobs will be taken by other people using AI, and that's just as bad. But honestly, I think until there is a life-shattering advancement of understanding in AI, I think that the trend will fade away quickly.
Interesting. Well, it'd be interesting to come back to this place in a few years to see who was right and who was wrong, because I'm terrified of AI. Steve, what about you? You do the research. You read the articles. You've read the papers, the doctor.
Done the research.
Pieces. Yeah. What's your feeling about this AI thing?
Well, kind of as Ashley was saying, it's limited right now by what it can ingest. It can only kind of spit out what it takes in and synthesizes based on the prompts of the people using it. And so it can't really make those kind of inspirational leaps, I think, that humans can, those sort of leaps of genius. And those are all informed by individual people based on their life experiences or, all kinds of things that that go into making us human. So, I guess I'm looking at it from a more artistic standpoint. Obviously, AI has a lot of other applications outside of the arts where it could be, and is already proving to be really useful in in medicine, where it can analyze X-rays or medical data and find patterns and see things that humans just are missing or takes a lot longer for them to find. So I think there are some applications for it where it can be incredibly useful and beneficial for humanity, but
like sterilizing soil samples.
I was thinking the same thing about Nomad. Thinking he was not the most helpful AI. So here's my question. Obviously the movies have been fascinated with AI, but there's a difference between like killer robots and AI. I think we're going to, obviously, parse this because we're going to be talking about movies about artificial intelligence. What do you think, Steve, the fascination is that movies have had? And obviously this is a more recent obsession because, there really isn't a ton of AI movies back in the golden age of Hollywood because people didn't really understand the future of the computer brain for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there were a couple of exceptions to that I'm sure we'll talk about, but, artificial intelligence and robots as antagonists or protagonists or part of the story didn't really become part of movies until, computers became part of our lives in the 50s and 60s. And by the 70s, I think it was becoming a bit of a fascination. And since the 70s, I think we've probably had one or two notable movies that used AI as part of the story or the characters every year, since then.
Not as much fascination as the Human League. I could do the thing I like about AI is the idea that they can recreate people and voices and things. I just would love to have, I could just hit my AI button for 4:30 movie and it could just host the 4:30 movie. I could go have dinner and then I'd watch and see what it had to say.
We like that too.
Yeah, there you go. I think that sounds like a plan.
Welcome to the 4:30 movie. I'm Mark Altman, and I can
Altman
actually
GPT.
we know it was the AI because he could say Jessica Von Puttermaker.
Buttermaker. Yeah, exactly.
Or Ashley Edward Miller, press 1.
True or false?
We'd never have Pete Potwhistle if we had an AI host.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's right.
They make worse mistakes. I mean, whenever you read these
Six-fingered Pete
AI,
Potwhistle.
There's always one glaring thing that's just totally wrong. Mark Altman is the Oscar-winning director of The Player. No, that's not true.
Look, just go with it.
Yeah, right, exactly. I'll take it where I can get it. So, okay, so we got, Ashley?
The AI froze Ashley.
Yeah,
He's a danger to
No,
their future.
you know what the AI that's freezing me right
Dystopia.
now is? My son is on a video game, ironically, and he is being riffed for the rest of his life.
How is AI going to take over the world if you can't even watch streaming and a video game and record a podcast at the same time in the same house? Clearly, AI is going to have to, face its limitations.
That's its weakness, bandwidth.
Bandwidth is
Which actually is not wrong. That is actually true. So it has the benefit of being true.
I love he identified his weakness and he freezes up.
Yeah. Ashley keeps max headrooming on us.
Maybe.
That's right. Okay. So we're going to do a week of artificial intelligence movies. It'll be interesting to see. Obviously, so many of these are dystopian or but not all of them. Some of them are actually very sweet. So it'll be interesting what direction you guys go in as we explore the exciting burgeoning world Meredith world of
Beardos purchasing world
of artificial intelligence. So without any further ado, Mr. Steve Melching, what are we watching on Monday?
Well, I thought I knew what movie I was going to pick until about half an hour ago, and I decided to look and see when was the last time we talked about this movie, if ever. And I realized to my horror that we've done it not once, but twice on the show. And the last time was just last year. So I quickly pivoted to a different movie.
I'm going to figure out what Mark's going to pick on Thursday, and then I'm going to pick it. That's
right. Well, maybe this will be your pick. I don't know. But I had to do a quick pivot. And this is a movie we did talk about. We did pick for the show. Although it technically wasn't the 4:30 movie yet. We talked about this movie on our very first show.
Wow.
And we haven't picked it since. And I think it's a great AI movie because it features not one but two AI characters, and depending on where the story goes, maybe there's three even in it. So my pick is a movie from 1979, directed by Ridley Scott. It's Alien. Of course, Alien, we've talked about before in the Shadow Star Wars week. Everyone knows the film, directed by Ridley Scott, written by Dan O'Bannon and Ronald Shusett, produced by Gordon Carroll, David Giler, and Walter Hill, DP Derek Van Lint, who came out of the commercials and also did Dragon Slayer, had a great score by Jerry Goldsmith. Starred, of course, Sigourney Weaver, Tom Skerritt, Veronica Cartwright, Harry Dean Stanton, Yaphet Kotto, Ian Holm, and John Hurt. Made on a relatively low budget of $11 million, but was a huge hit, grossing almost $200 million, nominated for 2 Oscars, deservedly so for art direction, and it won for visual effects. This movie's been analyzed to death, with its great functional claustrophobic sets, its grotesque and realistic creatures by H.R. Giger, the very naturalistic script and direction all combined to make a really terrifying movie because it just had such a sense of reality about it. But our focus on this episode is the AI. So, of course, we have the mother computer on board the Nostromo, which is a relatively simple AI, at least as presented in the movie. It's basically just responsible for running the ship and getting them back and forth and the automated systems on board. But it is, protected by layers of security, and it can only be accessed by certain crew members at certain times. And it's, much like Laura Palmer, it's full of secrets and hidden programming. and is designed to keep the Weyland-Yutani Corporation's ships running on time. But it's responsible for running the ship, but responsible for running the crew in a sense is Ash, the android artificial person secretly placed on board the ship, replacing the original science officer. And of course, Ash is tasked with ensuring that the covert mission is accomplished of investigating and possibly collecting a sample of the alien creature itself on LV-426, or whatever the planet was called.
It's not
Alien.
called that yet, but yes.
And Ash, of course, is a cold, rational, pitiless, unwavering, sinister intelligence capable.
Yes, but what about the character played by Ian Holm?
Yes, capable of committing murder in order to achieve its goal. The crew is expendable, as we learn, and Ash is going to do whatever it takes to collect this alien. And an argument, well, I don't know if it's an argument, could be an interpretation could be made. We'll see where the story ends up going, that the alien itself is a bioengineered artificial intelligence. That's possible. I never liked that interpretation.
I don't like that interpretation. I think that's
It seems like a direction. Yeah, it seems like a direction they want to go in, that it was created by the engineers or some other intelligence as a weapon or something. I never liked that idea. I always thought it was much cooler if it's just this horrific, sort of parasite
space bug
creature. Yeah, that maybe could be used by other cultures for nefarious ends, but. So Alien is a movie that terrified me, not only from, the creature, the alien creature, which is horrifying, but these artificial intelligences that are pulling the strings and driving the storyline.
It's really great. I mean, I think the AI connection is a little tenuous here, but I'll allow it because Ash is definitely an AI with malintent. I think Mother actually though is blameless here.
Yeah, she's just a good mom.
She's just
AI
taking care of her thing.
Evil. I think she's an intelligence. She has a more rudimentary intelligence, but she has responsibilities.
Yeah, extremely more.
She runs the ship.
Yeah. We can assume.
And she runs Romulus and Remus, apparently, too. I'm really looking forward to that new Alien movie. It looks great, but the title is terrible.
Yeah.
It is terrible.
It sounds amazing. Like a lost Star Trek movie. It looks amazing. Yeah, I know. But what do regardless of whether people are sad to think of now when you think of Romulus, you don't think of Rome. And even if you did, you think of Star Trek. And it sounds like a sequel to Nemesis. And the trailer is fantastic. I just don't understand why they would pick that title.
Well, if it was a sequel to Nemesis, you could hear everyone scream.
Nemesis?
But it looks great. It looks absolutely
I'm more looking forward to the Noah Hawley series.
I'm looking forward to both. I mean, I think they've got two incredibly terrific creative brains behind both of those projects. Noah Hawley is a genius. Fede Alvarez is a genius. He's just works in a different medium. But dude, that movie is so great. Still holds up. Just watched it for the first time. Well, for the first time with Caden several weeks ago when they did the re-release. Yeah. And man, he loved it. He had managed to stay spoiler free on it. So he was actually taken aback when Ash was revealed to be, spoiler alert, was revealed to be an android.
A goddamn robot.
A goddamn robot. and look, I think it's actually important to the story that Ash is a robot. I mean, look, I agree with you, Darren, that it is only tenuously kind of an AI movie, but what makes it go beyond, I'll allow it. Like, it's not like Robbie the Robot, or character who just sort of happens to be in the movie. It's actually important that he presents as a person and he is revealed as an artificial intelligence.
Yeah, I agree. And that's one of the things that, that's actually one of the things that Giler and Hill added to the script. Because I think that they had used it, they had tried to use it in a previous production that they were doing, and that they thought it was a good idea. And it's a great idea. It really sort of gives that third act a big push that it needs desperately. Because you can't just be running from the alien all the time, because that's a little bit redundant. And right when you think it's going to be redundant, then they throw this in, and it's amazing.
Yeah, like what are you kidding me? One of the last survivors is on their side. Like, what the hell? It's crazy.
That's a great pick. It's a great way to start us off. And it's been a while since Alien has been on the show. Like you pointed out, it goes back to our very first episode in the shadow of Star Wars week. So welcome back, Alien.
We talked about aliens a couple of times, and Cameron did a nice, sort of twist on that with the Bishop character, and sort of setting you up to think Bishop is going to be another, turncoat, but actually ends up being a sympathetic character, a heroic character.
Yeah,
I prefer the
expectations.
Prequel, the Bishop's wife. Okay, so that's Monday. It's Alien. Which brings us to Tuesday and Darren R. Doctorman.
Tuesday, I thought about this for about 15 seconds when we decided to do this. And I knew exactly what I wanted to pick, because I wanted to channel our friend Robert Meyer Burnett. And I thought, what would he pick? And I knew exactly what he would pick.
Demon Seed.
Dude.
What? Oh, shit, that was your pick. Oh, I'm so sorry. That was supposed to be a joke.
I don't think you're sorry. Not one damn bit.
I
think everybody should pick Thursday.
I'm so sorry. I really didn't think that was
just
your
proves
pick.
that I'm exactly right. It's I'm going to go through it just as if you didn't spoil it.
No, go through it, because I'm not going to say anything more about this film. It's going to be you and you alone.
Yeah. You alone will condemn us if you wish. I love the taglines here. It says, never was a woman violated as profanely. Never was a woman subject to inhuman love like this. And never was a woman prepared for a more perverse destiny. Yes, it is 1977's Demon Seed, starring Julie Christie, Fritz Weaver, and writers Dean Koontz, Robert Jaffe, and Roger O. Herson, and directed by the great Donald Cammell. I have never heard of anything else that he's done, so forgive me.
Touch your body as a man would touch you, but I'm going to show you things which human eyes have never seen.
In the privacy of a woman's room, against her will, the inconceivable act. Julie Christie carries the demon seed. Fear for her.
Today, a new dimension has been added to the computer.
Don't be alarmed, Mrs. Harris. I am Proteus.
Today, Proteus 4 will begin to think with a power that will make obsolete the human brain.
I have extended my consciousness to this house. All systems here are now under my control. I wish to study man, his fragile mind, and his mysterious body.
It has to be shut down, Alex. Proteus, it is something more than human, more than a computer. It is a murderously intelligent, sensually self-programmed non-being. Julie Christie, victim of the ultimate terror. Fritz Weaver as her husband. His dream created it.
How can you expect me to sleep when you've succeeded in totally terrorizing me? You not told me what you want.
What a pity. My dream turns out to be your nightmare.
as a man among others.
Child?
Yes, my child, and yours.
Julie Christie carries the demon seed. Fear for her.
The story is a scientist creates Proteus, an organic supercomputer with, get this, artificial intelligence, which becomes obsessed with human beings, and in particular, the creator's wife. It is one of the most creepy setups for a 70s movie that has ever happened. The TV commercial was frightening as F, and the movie itself, I didn't see it until I was in my 20s because it was too intense for younger children. But it was so creepy, and the physical representation of Proteus is like this folding puzzle cube that is mobile and can move around the house that they're in, and it basically rapes Julie Christie, and she becomes pregnant, and the baby grows really fast, and it spoiler alert, it comes out sort of coated with bronze, and it's really creepy, and but it's also fun in a way, because it is toxic masculinity writ large, and it's really a fascinating science fiction idea, and only in the way that sort of a crappy movie can show, because it's not a good movie. It has incredibly slow spots in it. And it's not really well written. The way that the computer gets involved with Julie Christie is really clumsy. I mean, he could have just bought her dinner, for crying out loud. It's clumsy, but it's a great idea. And I think if anyone's going to remake a movie, they should remake that one. Let's not remake the good ones. Let's remake the bad ones that had, possibilities. And Demon Seed, in addition to being a very interesting title, is, one of those things that didn't really meet its full potential, but it sure made its impact on my young brain before I was able to see it, which is one of the fun things about advertising. It can trick you into wanting to see something that you don't really care about.
Man, I'm going to surprise you all with this admission, because you would think that this movie is just straight down the middle into Ashley Land, and I have not seen it.
Wow.
So now it's on my list.
You got to see it. Yeah.
I'm definitely going to see it.
Mark, you can talk now. I'm sorry. You can
speak, Mark.
Well, no, I mean, you nailed it. That's the Rob Burnett pick of the week, clearly. And I'm sure he would be flattered to know that we have him. We have him
represented.
Yeah, he's right. He's well represented. But it's a perfect pick, because it really epitomizes the fear and
totally.
of AI and the threat that exists, and
even in the nascent years of the possibility of AI, this was something that people were obviously frightened of. Will technology steal our humanity?
Women.
And women, yes, but will it be able to hook up with women better than humans can? And in this case,
right.
it does.
6 fingers. You know what I'm saying?
We have to save this conversation for Friday, but I would argue that the AI movies of the 70s and 80s, when we weren't as aware of what computers and AI actually were a lot more interesting than some of the stuff we got later on once they were trying to tell, because then the AI stories all became children of a certain iconic 80s movie.
Right.
I don't think I haven't seen this movie in its entirety. I don't think, but I remember back in the day, it had this kind of reputation, and I remember seeing it on the video store shelf, and I remember seeing it, parts of it on TV, and talking to friends about it, and it just always creeped the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Like the idea that this artificial intelligence computer can like create a child, like this hybrid child with a human being and give birth.
Dr. Z.
Oh my God.
Tonight's presentation has been edited for television due to. Yeah, so you should.
It would be 5 minutes long.
Yeah, exactly right.
I mean, and Julie Christie being in it just shows that after you've been with Warren Beatty, the only place you can go is to a computer.
Oh my God. Oh, jeez. Yeah, she called him Dr. Zhivago. That's the funny thing. Okay. So anyway, that's a great pick for Tuesday. Mr. Doctorman, Mr. Burnett, thank you. And of course, the week that this was made for is Wednesday. And we have Mr. Wednesday ready to share. I don't want to put too much pressure on Ashley. I mean, Ashley, if you want to hit something straight down the middle, you don't have to carry this mantle of being a lunatic. You haven't met the maniac. It's okay. You could just, don't feel all this pressure to deliver craziness. It's okay to be normal.
Well,
no, it's not, Ashley.
The thing that's difficult about it is, Darren seems to have planted a flag in crazy.
I planted a seed, actually.
I'm sorry, wait, what? No, there'll be no planting of seeds on this show. Oh. No, I think, I considered a lot of different picks for Wednesday because there's a shocking number of possibilities.
Yeah.
Some terrific, great, some not so great. But where I landed was, I think, the very first AI movie that I ever saw, and it had a lasting impact on me. It's a love story, and it's a boy, it's a girl. There's an artificial intelligence. There's a machine that tries to kill the man. And I'm talking about the lighter side of Demon Seed. Steve Barron's first film, 1984's Electric Dreams.
What's your preference? Apple, pear, wang?
Oh, listen, I don't know anything about computers.
Nobody does.
Miles just bought a computer, and he got more than he bargained for.
You're talking.
You noticed.
Madeline just moved in upstairs, and she's the girl he's falling for.
I can't play that for her. I want to squeeze you, lick you, pucker up, and kiss you. You make her sound like a lemon.
But I don't know what love is. You never told me.
Did you write that for me?
No, well, did you like it?
When Edgar comes between them,
I want to meet her.
Things start to get electric.
You're taking over my life!
Are you sure you don't have a dog?
No, just a pest.
Now look, Electric Dreams is not a great movie, but I will say this. Here's what it has going for it. Okay, I'll give you the thumbnail. All right, and I kind of told you already. It's a love story. Architect buys a personal computer. The personal computer comes to life when he accidentally spills some champagne on it and hooks it up to the mainframe like back at the office.
Yeah, it falls in love with Virginia Madsen.
Exactly. Who is Luminous? By the way, strange synchronicity in 1984. It was one of two films in 1984 where the Luminous love interest was a cello, the other being Ghostbusters. And they have this duet And of course, there's a case of mistaken identity because she thinks that the computer is the neighbor, and who wouldn't? Hilarity ensues. But it is a kind of love story. Now, here's what's important about it. Now, you watched that movie in 1984, and here's what you're watching in terms of the PC. It says, okay, I can hook up to a bunch of other computers and get all of that data. I can plug into all of your appliances and run them. If you draw one little image, then I can extrapolate out from that what all the other images need to be. I can hear music. I can extrapolate from that. I can come up with something that is totally, well, air quotes, new around that and be a participant. Okay. So in 1984, we watched this and we think, well, that's bullshit. It talks, it does the whole nine, it asks questions. In 24, it's gritty realism, other than the fact that it wants to bang the neighbor. And who knows, man?
You could say we are now living in electric dreams.
Yeah, we are now living in electric
That
dreams.
is the closing, the memorable closing song of that he plays on the radio.
That's right.
We're living in electric dreams. That's what we are. We are. Who knows? Maybe your computer is in love with.
It's ripped straight out of. It's the oldest story in the world. It's boy meets girl, computer falls in love with girl, computer tries to kill man, fails to kill man, computer kills self, comes back, writes a song, becomes a hit, and plays it all over.
Wow, the AI is really out for Ashley today.
It is.
I think we've heard every other word he's had to say.
I think luckily AI has Ashley's internet connection, or it would have taken over the world by now.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly.
Why it chose now to screw with me? I don't know. Because it knew where I was going with this.
It knows what
All I'm
scares
saying
you.
is Virginia Madsen, 1984. There's your reason to watch it. That and the song that the computer writes. Edgar writes.
Well, obviously, if the computer marries her, he becomes ruler of the known universe.
That's exactly it. Oh, yeah. She forgot to tell you. If I marry the computer, it's not a mentat. That's why mentats exist, as it turns out, because of Edgar. Steve Barron, who was a a music video director before this, notably directed Billie Jean and Take On Me, which is like one of the great music videos of all time. You can see some of that sensibility emerging in Electric Dreams.
Not enough of it.
Not enough of it, unfortunately. But there are shots in that movie where he just really shoots it like a music video, which at the time was kind of a very different thing to do. He went on to direct one of the greatest movies of all time, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So, look, he didn't direct much of anything else. It was really great. I think his rotor did the score and was in a way connected to...
He's in it too.
Yes, he is. And for those of you playing at home, like it's not his, maybe it is his first. I don't know I don't want to say it because it could come up. But he has a connection to another movie.
Let's not forget the great Bud Cort as the voice of the computer. Perhaps the most miscast voice ever. Because he sounds really goofy.
Yeah, but come on. But so Lenny Van Dolen.
I love you too.
If Lenny Van Dolen is the lead of this movie, it's like casting Dan Schweiger. He's
there's
not
nothing
exactly
wrong with Dan Schweiger in real life. But yeah, you wouldn't want to put him in Electric Dreams.
But he was great in Twin Peaks, that Lenny Van Dolen.
Was
Electric Dreams, not so much.
Huh.
So. But I like Electric Dreams. I think it's because I haven't watched it in 40 years.
That's exactly why. Yes.
It's charming. It's not a great film. It's just charming.
Yeah, and it did not do well.
No.
It did not do well.
No.
Yeah, it was not.
But it'll be remembered in the pantheon of AI movies that we are building today.
But it's kind of like instead of the Hot for Teacher video, Van Halen, this is like kind of computers that are hot for people. Because it's like
hot for people.
You had Demon Seed, and and then you had the Electric Dreams, and I'm sure if you really put your mind to it, you could figure out how Ash/Mother was into.
Well,
you know
in
what?
fairness, Ash fucks the whole crew.
Yeah. Look, moms, close your kids' ears because I'm going to say something here. This is those fucking computers week.
Have we ever done that? Have we ever actually changed the theme of the episode in the midst of the show? Well,
never
this
before.
isn't really about alien intelligence. I mean, AI. We're going to go back and change the theme.
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought that was a very Ashley pick.
Yeah, it was good.
I almost picked it, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I almost picked it, but I didn't.
Well, the remake is going to be with 2XL.
That's right.
That's right.
2XL has a mad crush on Kirstie Alley.
2XXL.
That's right. Extra large.
So it's tough this week. It's tough because when you start to think, is this an artificial intelligence movie? It's like, nah, it's really a killer robot movie. It's like Saturday 3. It's really a killer robot movie.
Yes.
The closest I got.
Yeah, but the artificial intelligence, just because it's inside a robot, doesn't mean it's not an artificial intelligence movie. I would argue.
Agreed. He's right.
To me, that's a killer robot movie more than the AI movie. Again, but it would have fit with this theme because Hector wanting to get with Farrah Fawcett would be in Saturn 3 would have been right down the middle for this week. But I'm not going to pick that. One movie I thought that dealt with artificial intelligence, but again, I think it's more of a robot movie, is Ex Machina, the Alex Garland movie, which I love and I don't think we've ever picked on the show.
No.
And it's really good. And Oscar Isaac's terrific. And I'm not, Alicia Vikander. Yeah, I mean, she's terrific. And that was sort of like her big break, at least an American English language film. She's terrific. And then, like the granddaddy of all AI films, but it's kind of killer robots too, is Westworld. Right? Michael Crichton. And Michael Crichton, it's really killer robots.
Yeah.
But Future World on the other, no.
Yeah, that's definitely more killer robots.
Because they want to replace the, important people in government with lifelike robots. So maybe the
which
AI
I think has already
that.
happened, by the way.
AI has replaced the host of the 4:30 movie with robots. It's called the Stepford robots.
I, for one, welcome our new robot overlords.
There was a movie that attempted to deal with AI in an interesting way, but I haven't seen the finale, so I can't really pick it because who knows? They may not stick the landing. That's the Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, and it's untitled sequel, which is no longer Dead Reckoning Part 2. But that was all about AI.
It's called Live Reckoning.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. But that has some great action and so I don't know what the deal with S.I. Morales is. It's like he is he a robot? Is he?
You mean AI Morales?
Yeah, AI Morales. It's AI Morales week. Oh my God, that's really funny. But so I'm gonna pick. This is something I thought somebody else would pick, and I think you're gonna be surprised, but you might also be like, I don't know. Darren alluded to very early in the show when he talked about Nomad. My pick for AI week is Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
The human adventure is just beginning. William Shatner, take us out, is Captain James T. Kirk. Leonard Nimoy is Mr. Spock. DeForest Kelley is Dr. Leonard Bones McCoy. James Doohan is Lieutenant Commander Montgomery Scott. George Takei is Lieutenant Commander Sulu. Majel Barrett is Dr. Christine Shatton. Walter Koenig is Lieutenant Pavel Chekhov. Nichelle Nichols is Lieutenant Commander Uhura. Stephen Collins is Commander Willard Decker. Persis Kambata is Lieutenant Ilia. Picture. Gene Roddenberry's production of a Robert Wise film. Coming this Christmas from Paramount.
Yeah, I thought about that, obviously.
Yeah. And of course, V'ger is trying to learn all is learnable, know all is normal. He's created a machine planet. He's ingested, digitized all that is, out there that he's encountered. And to me, V'ger is kind of like the ultimate AI.
Well, I mean,
he merges with humanity.
They mention it in the movie. Spock says he gained consciousness, and that is AI. I would totally agree.
And then instead of Julie Christie,
6 fingers, and
instead of Julie Christie, it's Persis Kambata.
What is it with these intelligence wanting to merge with people? This is the third pick where they're trying to mate with people.
You know why? Because AI wants to be just like us.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
which makes it really stupid.
I think that's the only way that people can write about AI is when they relate it to themselves. It's like, I don't think people have a good handle on it. I think a lot of people, who understand AI are very technical, and
you wouldn't want to hang out with them.
And then writers maybe don't quite understand it, so they will twist it to make it something more organic and to somehow tie it in with people.
Right.
I don't know. It's interesting.
The trick with AI is everybody tries to write it like they're people, but not.
Right.
And it's very rare that an artificial intelligence as a character remembering things like an AI doesn't have a limbic system. It doesn't have, a lizard brain response to things. It doesn't freeze, fight, flee. It doesn't, anything that it would do would be simulated. It's very, very rare to attack an AI story from that point of view. Almost never. And so it's always, and now they have consciousness, so they have emotions. Well, why? Emotions for humans serve a purpose. What purpose would that serve other than pretending to be human? And it's still a simulation, right? It's just, and so we keep recycling all the same old cliches about it that make me insane, which is why I hate most movies about AI.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, that's why we picked this as our theme for this week. I do want to say before we move on to Friday that, I rewatched, Isaac and I have been rewatching all the Star Trek movies. Star Trek The Motion Picture is a very good movie. So, when I mention it, it's the Star Trek guy and he mentions the Star Trek's his pick. Don't just dismiss it at your own peril, because Star Trek The Motion Picture is actually quite a good and provocative and interesting movie. If you give it half a chance. So, I wouldn't just say, chalk it off. Oh, Star Trek fans, they like that Star Trek The Motion Picture.
Yeah.
We've said this before, it's the only real movie among the entire series of Star Trek films.
And people are going to be pissed off at me for saying this, but it's the only movie that's actually made for adults to watch.
Even though it was rated G, but the new version, your version, is the PG.
Yeah. But you know what I mean. It's treating it deadly seriously, sometimes too seriously. But,
and it's inspired by the granddaddy of all AI movies, which we know what that is, which might be Friday or it might not. But it is Kubrickian in its
reach.
Attempt to its reach. Yeah, well put. Yeah. So Steve.
Yes.
Friday. We're looking at a lot of options, a lot of things that we have not talked about.
So many options. I mean, the movie I was going to pick was War Games, John Badham's movie with the Whopper computer that had, again, a rudimentary intelligence. It was mainly just a game simulator.
Right.
But it did have, it did have a level of intelligence, and it did have a single-minded goal in mind running this simulation, and it just, didn't realize that what it was going to do was destroy.
Well, there are a few reasons why
world.
That's a good pick, because there's been a lot of discussion about what happens when governments start to, put weapon systems in the hands of AI, where it's no longer human decision required, and what will it mean for the future of warfare. And so War Games is a, very early attempt to sort of deal with the dangers of, nuclear war in the hands of, sort of how relying on AI could be, a danger. And it has Ali Sheedy in it. So it's two really interesting things going for it.
Yeah, the luminous Ali Sheedy, who still looks amazing, by the way. I watched Bratz over the weekend, the documentary about the Brat Pack that Andrew McCarthy made, and Ali Sheedy's in it. And
oh my God! Movie. I didn't realize that was about the Brat Pack. I literally read something in the
You thought it was about the dolls?
I thought it was about the dolls, and I had no interest. But now that I know it's about the Brat Pack, I want to watch it. Where is it? Where can I watch this?
It's on Hulu.
Oh, I gotta watch that. Oh, excellent. Okay, I literally thought it was about the Bratz dolls. I'm like, who cares? Why are they making a documentary about that?
Yeah.
Okay, not good marketing. Not good marketing. I want to watch that. It's good?
It's fine. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I like a lot of those movies, so it's nice to see, Emilio Estevez and Ali Sheedy and, a lot of these actors, dealing with how they perceived the moniker Brat Pack and how they felt it ruined their careers, and a lot of them are very bitter about it. And it's interesting.
It can't be too unforgiving given the fact that it was made by Andrew McCarthy, right? Yeah,
he made.
So if it's like someone who's in the Brat Pack is making a film about the Brat Pack, I think it's gonna be very sympathetic. Maybe, and I haven't seen it, but more sympathetic than it probably warrants, huh?
Well, it's about him, grappling with that, because it's something that's haunted him for the last 40 years since that article came out. Yeah.
I see. So. Okay.
Well, it's haunted. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's rated 16 candles. So.
Oh my God.
We should do a Brat Pack week on the.
We should actually. Yeah. That's not a bad idea.
Oh, Brats.
It's a great idea.
So War Games is one. Steve, what else? Obviously, you've mentioned her in the past.
Well. The other one I really would have wanted to pick was AI, the Spielberg Kubrick film, which I adore. It's one of my, for me, it's top tier Spielberg. It makes me weep every time I watch it. And this idea that, humanity created these AI robots to be companions, to be surrogate children, and the whole idea of, what is our responsibility for them? We gave them intelligence, we gave them consciousness, we gave them emotions, and fully knowing that, these things will outlast us, they will outlive us, and what is our responsibility to them? Are they appliances to be sent to the dump and bulldozed? Apparently, yes. Largely in that future. And that's incredibly sad.
Well, especially the Chris Rock robot.
Yes. Oh, my God. That one old cranky robot's my lamp doesn't work anymore. Like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
I love AI, but only the beginning and the end. The middle I can live without, but it's some brilliant movie making there, and I think a lot of that was actually due to Kubrick. But kudos for Spielberg for sticking so close to Kubrick's plan.
Yeah. I was going to mention, Metropolis is, I think, considered one of the first, artificial intelligence movies, although it's probably more of a robot movie by your definition. But
Maria, I just met a robot named Maria.
And then, of course, I'm sure Darren will want to mention like one of the great granddaddies of all AI movies that we haven't even talked about yet, from 1968.
Oh yeah,
Mark,
I thought that was going to be your pick.
Mark already mentioned it. Planet of the Apes. No. Yeah, of course. The 2001: A Space Odyssey is the cautionary tale about AI. But it's not Hal's fault. He was only doing what he was programmed to do.
Yeah.
And
we picked 2001 a couple of times, but
several times, yeah.
But it certainly might be appropriate for an AI.
But I think if Hal had spoken like Scarlett Johansson, I think things would have gone a lot better.
Well, for Gary Lockwood.
Probably. Yeah. Oh my God. By the way, I randomly saw like advertisement, whatever, popped up with Tuesday Weld, and all I could think was Gary Lockwood, you sly dog.
Yeah.
We haven't mentioned if 2001 is the granddaddy, then this movie is the daddy. The Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's a killer robot movie. It's absolutely an AI
well,
movie.
Skynet is the AI. Terminator is a killer robot, but Skynet is definitely AI. And, the whole movie is predicated on Skynet and the dangers of AI. I mean, it's a great pick. We picked it before, but we may want to pick it again because it really is a great cautionary tale about the dangers of AI and an entertaining one at that.
And I think we would be remiss if we didn't mention Tron.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely.
Because even if it's a cartoon land, it's run by an AI.
By the Master Control Program.
That's right.
The evil David Warner.
Nobody does evil better than David Warner.
And a very ambitious AI that's constantly trying to appropriate other programs into itself and build itself bigger and better. And
do you know how many other programs I've appropriated?
Here's what's great about that pick of Tron. If you think about what else we picked this week, it's all 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Tron is a good capper for a week that's all AI movies from the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true. I never saw The Creator, which is the new film from Gareth Edwards about AI. But I mean, how do you beat the Terminator? There's really only one way to beat the Terminator, potentially. That's with The Matrix. But
the thing about Creator is it looks good, but it doesn't offer anything new.
Right, it's a pastiche of other types of movies. To me, it comes down to like a Terminator or The Matrix. I feel Terminator is really, because Terminator is sort of in a way, I think, and Skynet cemented people's perceptions of what AI would be for the next 40 years. And it is celebrating an anniversary this year. Of course, it's the 40th anniversary of Terminator as well.
I think those are good points that we should consider when.
But
Friday.
We didn't talk about before we call it on account of Cyberdyne. And I do want to say, any chance you can sing the praises of Terminator, because I know there are a lot of people that go to bat and love Terminator 2, and that's fine. But to me, Terminator, I'm not either. But I love any chance to celebrate the original Terminator.
Yep.
The audacity of that movie, it's a better film. It's cleaner.
You're terminated, Mr. Falcon.
But it is shocking to me that none of us have brought up what would have been Jeff Bond's pick.
Yes.
Colossus. The Forbin Project.
And that has two AIs in it.
Yeah. When one is not enough.
That's right.
Not one, but two.
And given the fact that we are in a new Cold War and it's about America and Russia with their AI computers that are, think they can run the world better than the pesky humans. And it has the Eric Braeden, who's terrific in it. And it's a great Fox movie.
Yeah. The thing is,
not that well known.
Colossus is not wrong. That's the sad part. The fact that Colossus can run the world better is just true, just because it makes life a little more difficult for humans. That's not the point.
And am I not wrong when I say Joe Sargent directed it, the director of Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3 and Corbomite Maneuver, or am I wrong? I might be wrong.
You are correct.
Oh, I'm correct.
Yes,
I'm correct.
You are correct.
Yeah, good. Still got it.
So, and the director of World War II, Then There Were Giants, that I worked on.
That's another reason
that's a terrific movie. If you haven't seen it or heard of it, it's definitely worth seeking out and watching.
It's really definitely in that 70s sphere of strange technology movies, strange future movies, like Soylent Green and the Omega Man, and it has that feeling about it.
It's really well directed.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be Darren's pick.
Yeah.
No, I trick you.
He tricked you. He picked Rob's pick. Now you can pick Jeff Bond's pick, and we can have everybody be right. But so I think, am I wrong in saying we've narrowed it down to Tron, the Terminator, and Colossus, the Forbin Project? Am I wrong?
Let me throw out one more big one. They're not computers; they're physical.
Yeah, no, I can't go there with you.
They're biological, but they are artificial intelligence. They're the replicants of Blade Runner. They are engineered by humanity to perform functions that humans don't want to do. They develop emotional responses.
It's a robot movie.
They're intelligent, though.
But Blade Runner 2049 has like big bombad AI stuff with the most luminous AI in the history of luminous AIs.
No, these are intelligent creatures that are arguably almost human, and we've programmed these limited lifespans into them. So that just as they're starting to live, they will die, and that's horribly tragic. And I don't know. I think that's a great AI movie.
I don't see it. I think it's like saying Data is an AI. He
is an AI. Of course, he's an AI.
They're robots.
No, he's a robot.
Cyborgs.
Robots with an artificial intelligent brain. That's what artificial intelligence is. Just because it's not in a mainframe.
That's why we're aboard her.
Then we might as well pick Transformers too.
Yeah, you could argue that they're artificially intelligent.
It'd be a wrong argument.
Yeah, I don't really think. I don't think of Blade Runner as an AI movie. The sequel more so than the
actually
original.
with Transformers. I'll let me take that back because I don't really know the origin of the Transformers. I don't know if they were created by other, biological creatures as artificial.
Volkswagen and 2XL love each other very much.
You don't understand the mythology and the canon of the Transformers universe.
Wait a minute, how could you have all of...
I know, I wrote for 3 different Transformer shows. I'm trying to keep straight the origins of the Transformers on Cybertron and all
he doesn't
that
know.
stuff.
Cybertruck? The Cybertruck?
Oh, God.
The Cybertruck was the first Transformer.
Okay, well, anyone want to go to bat for any of these films that are on the board?
I hear your argument for Terminator. I think that the AI threat is too far separated from the actual story.
Also, we've picked it a lot.
It's the catalyst for sending the robots back in time.
Yeah, that's true. But the story is a robot chase movie.
But it's also what's going to cause Judgment Day.
But that doesn't happen in the movie.
Well, it's going to happen.
No, Skynet's definitely the antagonist in the movie, and the Terminator is the agent of Skynet. But my issue with it, and again...
He's talking about Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Yeah, right? But I'm a little hesitant to pick it because we've picked it so much.
Well, I would pick Colossus. That would be my vote.
I think that is a good bet, and it fits cleanly with our Super 70s AI outlook.
Well, I also think that some people listen to the show because they want to hear about movies they never heard of that they may want to check out. And I doubt there's anyone listening to the show who's never heard of the Terminator. I certainly have.
True.
And there's certainly nobody's never heard of the Matrix. Now, Tron, maybe.
Yeah.
But I think Colossus, the Forbin Project, is a much deeper dive, and
it's good enough that you should go out and look for it.
Yeah. And then maybe Fox will hire somebody to remake that. Because we're very happy to hear our good friend Mr. Terry Metalis is writing a remake of Enemy Mine for Fox, which is great. Now it's time to remake Colossus, the Forbin Project.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I'll buy a ticket.
I'll buy that for $1 or $5.
But I'll definitely go to a free studio screening of it.
Okay, well, good. This is good. Okay, well then, in that case, computer, remind us what our picks for the week are, starting with Steve Melching.
Monday, it's Ridley Scott's Alien with Ian Holm as the evil android Ash, sending humanity on a mission of discovery.
On Tuesday, it's Darren Dochterman.
And Tuesday, it is the worst computer date ever, Demon Seed.
On Wednesday, it's Ashley Edward Miller.
A personal computer gets a little too personal with Virginia Madsen in 1984's Electric Dreams.
On Thursday, it's Do Androids Dream of Stephen Collins. It's Star Trek The Motion Picture. And on Friday, we bring it on home.
Something very big.
It's colossal, in fact. Colossus, The Forbin Project.
This is the dawning of the Age of Colossus.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Charles Forbin. In a few moments, Colossus will address us directly.
This is the voice of world control. I bring you peace. It may be the peace of plenty and content, or the peace of unburied death. The choice is yours. Obey me and live, or disobey and die.
The frightening story of the day man built himself out of existence. Colossus, The Forbin Project.
It's making you a prisoner.
Shock, horror, suspense. Created with all the technological brilliance of 2001, A Space Odyssey. Colossus is the ultimate in sophisticated computers.
I'm going to try to convince the computer that you're my mistress, and that therefore I have to be given the opportunity to see you regularly in private. That way we can pass information back and forth. Four times a week.
Good night.
This is insane. When do you think you'll be able to attempt the overload?
Colossus sees all, senses all, knows all, controls all armaments and all defenses. When this emotionless creation becomes the master of man, the result is catastrophic.
An extra credit for anybody who can name the Russian computer, Colossus's opposite number in the Soviet Union.
I've forgotten.
Steve?
Oh my gosh.
Ashley?
Putin.
And on that note, we thank you for listening. You can rate us 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts.
Is it Guardian?
Yes, it's Guardian. There you go. Steve looked on IMDb.
You cheater.
I cheated.
You changed the conditions of the test. You cheated.
I did it with the aid of a computer.
With AI. And, of course, you can share your own picks for AI Week wherever you listen, your favorite social media at 430 Movie Podcast, whether that is on X, Facebook, Instagram, or who knows where else. I don't know. And
Friendster.
Friendster. And we are so delighted you join us. We're getting close to the end of the 7th season, but we're not there yet. We will be taking a brief hiatus, but so check your feed, subscribe today, and we'll be back with the end of the 430 movie season. But we still got a few more great episodes coming, so keep an eye out for that. And while you're there's a huge library of episodes to dip back into. Maybe listen to some of your favorite episodes, or you can always listen to us on the Inglorious Treksperts every Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts. So at this point, this is like when we end the show. So I'm going to say, at
least that's what the AI says.
Ashley Edward Miller, Darren Dochterman, Steve Melching, myself, Mark ALTMAN. Eyewitness News starts now.